This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. We are back again on another edition of QTV This Morning. So wherever you are, welcome to this program. Thank you very much. I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Baba God borrow me 10 billion. Hunger want to kill me. If I no pay back, hold Satan responsible. That's a song that I've been listening to the whole morning. And it keep drumming in my head all the time. Yeah, so good morning. We are back again. Julde Njai, it's the co-host of this program. Julde, good morning. How was your weekend?
Good morning, Ibrahima. Good morning to our viewers and good morning to Mr. Moj. My weekend was really good. It went well. I spent time with family. These days I don't have that much time to actually sit with my family and then, have quality time. But yeah, the weekend provided that opportunity. On Sunday, to be specific, yesterday. So, and I also had a webinar for young people. There is this after school program where they organize monthly webinars for young people, especially the newly grade 12 graduates, to actually talk about career guidance, what to do, and how to go about the different fields that they really want to involve in. So it was quite a fruitful weekend.
Yeah, that was really, a fruitful one.
Yeah.
And I've also seen, you're trying to change the dynamics of youth dialogue. Seeing a lot of young people coming on the program. People are getting more interested in connecting with the youths. Can you tell us what makes it very interesting for you?
It's so interesting because then I get to, feature different young people from different sectors, and then we to have this deep, honest conversation about issues affecting young people in the Gambia. So for me, it's all about, giving the young people the platform. I don't discriminate. In fact, 90% of the people that I bring on the youth dialogue, I don't know them initially. I got to know them when they are on the platform. That was the time we were meeting for the first time. So it's all about, because the program is for young people. So I try as much as possible to give the platform to young people to showcase their talent, to showcase their innovations. Because now I'm happy to report that we've seen a lot of young people who are coming up with inventions.
Exactly.
A lot of it. So that is something that is worth talking about. And for the fact that they constitute more than 60% of our population, they deserve a seat, on the table. They deserve to be had.
Absolutely.
And they also deserve, to actually participate, in our national development agenda.
The blood of every country is the youth of the country.
True.
So once they are molded properly, there will be a brighter future.
True.
So we have Mr. Mamadou Mbodj as the newspaper review guest. Good morning, Mr. Mamadou Mbodj.
Good morning.
How have you been? Mu ngi mel ni sa weekend bi neex na de.
But my weekend always have the neex. If you know
Always have the neex.
Big time.
Chum.
Oh. Because it never goes on top. I always just that middle equilibrium. Mom they aim for. So
you don't aim at
rarely,
the sky.
that's it. So rarely, I show extremes of passion. Look, I try to be very watchful of stuff like that. So the middle ground is quite nice. The middle view is not bad at all.
It's not bad. Okay, I'll try to meet you there.
No, it's a character. Melud no.
It's fun, it's
at that
good.
age, when passing I used to be like that. But not anymore.
Yeah,
not anymore.
How boring, yeah.
Well, to you it will be boring. That's it.
It's interesting.
It's normal. That's it. And I've got this new book. This new book now.
At least nga you chop shop fee sa.
No, amuñ ko pour ma ko génne.
Chop shop. No, chop shop fee rek.
And he claimed to be my friend.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And you claim to be my friend.
No,
One that said that friendship is fun.
Yeah, so thank you very much, viewers. On the program, we'll take a look at the African Code and the newspaper review with Mr. Mamadou Mbodj, Ajib Bank Limited, the services we provide. We'll be talking to Sehu Juara, head of Sehu M. Juara, head of Sharia Ajib Bank Limited, and of course Moro Sawane, head of retail banking Ajib Bank Limited. And of course, we'll also be talking to Aliou Cissé, update on President Adama Barrow, CRR and URR2. On the program, we'll also be talking to Don Williams, Tobaski preparations in NBR. Oh, Tobaski is almost here. What's the date today?
It's
18.
18. Yeah.
It's 18?
Yeah, it's next week, Wednesday.
I was thinking
literally.
today is 16.
No, it's
You
next
would
week.
I still didn't get my RAM.
You quite.
Pelegi amaguma hari Tobaski.
Te dafa share. Hari bi mo
No.
war nañu wasi hari.
Oh, man, no.
Whatever you were doing, you were not thinking.
Man,
You
no.
were thinking
Auma hari
that 16
Tobaski?
today?
Can you
That's
imagine?
not
Man,
thinking.
no. Yes.
Where's the-
So the owner watches the crops better than his servants. The owner watches the crops better than his servants. Okay. All right. Let's see what will happen.
Eh?
What do
That
you
is,
make
that
of?
is actually factual, Mr. Momodu.
Yes, of course. They call this the ownership effect, isn't it? The attention, the passion you're going to put to any task, anything, wouldn't be quite the same as, you know, your employees, what they will do, your servants in that matter. So obviously, when I own something, when I have the highest stake in it, then my attention, my care will be very different from somebody who doesn't have quite the same much stake in it. It's just very simple.
Yeah. So this proverb is reminding me of, they said, a man with a beautiful wife and a man who grew crops on the roadside, they have the same problem.
Everybody wants
It
to.
reminds me that type of that kind of proverb. Yeah, I think it's right. I mean, the owner, you pay attention to detail because you know the risk involved in your investment. So it's important for you to watch it properly. That's why most of the time, owners of certain institutions, sometimes people think they are very bossy, or sometimes people think they are very aggressive, or they don't take it lightly with anybody. It's because of the investment. At some point, when you do not pay attention to certain detail, it might cost you your whole investment. And we all understand how many people work in certain environments. It's a matter of, okay, I'll just come, do what I have to do, and get my salary and go home.
Right.
You understand? So owners, you know, the thing is connected to owners' heart as well. So you tend to pay more attention to what you own.
That's it. So what are the implications there?
Well, the implications are depends, you know, on the type of investment that you've done. You know, here we're talking about
And the limits of delegating.
Yeah.
It really tells you that. How much can I delegate? Why the oversight? Be careful with delegating. Of course, you must do in the workplace, but just remember that the passion you have for it, others may not have the same thing.
Yeah.
So be careful with that, really, one. And something else, yes, because of the veracity, the truth of this, it's a good argument for why a good number of times when you privatize, we're going back to that, it works better than when you leave it sort of when it's a public body. When it's a public body, nobody really takes ownership.
True.
Nobody really owns it. In fact, I've heard few bosses telling me that, you know, in talking to their subordinates, they can just turn around and tell you, and I have him home. They've got that attitude.
Yeah.
When you privatize, I own, you better work, otherwise I'll sack you.
Yeah.
There will be consequences with
Exactly.
that. So how the owner will take it, that's what we are lacking, that sense of ownership, common ownership. That's what's lacking so much. But if we genuinely had it, just as it says here, we'll watch our crops very, very well.
Very
We'll
well.
care, tend for our crops very well. Now we don't. Nobody owns it. Everybody knows that nobody.
So can you filter that to state-owned and...
You see, I was going there.
Yeah, so-
I'm like a privatization
so
wherever.
people will tell you, this is a Mansakunda highway.
Yeah,
It
stuff
belongs to
like that.
everybody.
Yes.
So I can litter anyhow I want.
Exactly.
You understand? So you can litter on the highway, but you cannot come to my compound and litter everywhere. Or you cannot come to my garden or my Bahama grass and start littering there.
Well, this is really where the secret is. Why can't I treat the public space as if it was your garden?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's treat it as if
So
it
that's
is
how-
our private
that's where,
space.
That's where we should change the mindset.
That's the mindset. Public
Mindset,
space is
absolutely.
my space.
Yeah.
That sense of I belong to it, it's mine. We don't have that sense of mine.
No.
You know what I mean? In that way, maybe the only mine we have is me, myself, and I, the selfish bit, just what purely benefits me. But if I were to look at the whole country, the whole space, everything, as mine, I'm personally invested in it.
Exactly.
Then I'll show passion, I'll try to do the right things, and that sort of thing.
And that even trickle down to how we also treat, you know, our workspace, how we treat the country as a whole, because we don't treat it as an individual stuff, as something that we own, that it is our country. We just live it here, but we don't treat it as it is ours. The Gambia belongs to everyone, and then anyone can do whatever you want with it, because it is nobody's property, right? But if we have that sense of ownership, have that sense of belonging, have that sense of love, you know, towards the Gambia, a lot of things that are happening now would not have happened. Because then if I see Balde littering, but like Balde, you can't litter here, you can't litter here. You know, it is your civic duties and responsibilities to ensure that this place is clean, not just for you, but for all of us and for generations to come. But we don't have that. Like you said, when you're in government entities, you see it is visible, like who owns it? Nobody cares, because nobody owns it. So, and that is a wrong mentality, because once you have that, it will be very difficult for any country to move forward when people in that country, people who are residing in that country, have, you know, those mentalities that, or ken momuko, alele nyepla. And when it's alele nyep, it's become problematic. Secondly, the principle of ownership. When you own something, you tend to have, you know, the tendency of you going the extra mile is very high. But also when someone owns it and then you put in the right people there and treat with the right treatment, they also tend to have more ownership than even you, and they're innovative. Sometimes, a lot of times when you give someone something to own it, even though you know that you own it, but you give them the responsibility, you trust them with it, you give them the right environment and the right treatment, they go the extra mile. That is just a human being. You entrust me with something, I tend to go the extra mile. I own it because you made me own it. But Tamit, it's different when you give me a responsibility and made me seems like you are the owner without you, you know, I'm just there for my salary. I have also the belief that I will just be there, do what I'm supposed to do.
So I think
we've exhausted
the time.
But really very, very, very,
Eaten a
very
lot of it.
quickly, do you know really what's going on with us? Because of the system, how it was, the colonial system, it seemed foreign. You know what I mean? Government and everything, the state was foreign. So however I could cheat it, I will cheat it. We've changed now, we are running it, but yet we are having this mentality that it is foreign and there's something that we can blame. That is why whenever anything happens, look at the government, that I can't see that I am the government.
Thank you, Mr. Mboj. Yes, viewers, at this point, we'll take a short break, and after the break, then we'll take a look at some of the papers. We'll be back. We are back. This is QTV This Morning. We are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa. If you're just tuning in, I'm Ibrahim Abalde. I'm with Julden Jaya and Mr. Momodu Mboj. Now let's head on to the newspapers. We have the Observer 24. Of course, a political analyst claims that politician Talib Bensouda's recent Unite Congress and Buva Zone rally failed to make a major impact on change public opinion. This is what he said.
What paper is
The
that?
Observer 24.
Oh, the Observer. Okay,
Yeah, so why does the political analysts think Talib Bensouda's rally failed to move, to make an impact?
Well, the exact quote I have here is failed to move the needle. Now, it will be interesting to see how moving the needle at this point might look like. What does it mean? So one must go behind the reasoning, I suppose, to know whether this conclusion is justified. I do not know why. What are his criteria for moving the needle? So I cannot say much about that, to be honest, really. I wonder what other outlets are reporting.
Well,
though.
I think let's okay. For me, what I'm saying, I
Yeah.
think they seems to underestimate the power that UMC is trying to nurture. That crowd, that trust, because when you look at the tactics of politics that UMC is playing, you will understand they are playing a politic of majority. You understand? So, and that type of a politic is a very dangerous politic, because you are getting into the minds of people that will understand and making them understand what it really means to vote and to make changes.
Yeah, because even during the Congress, Talib did mention that, you know, they don't have a problem with what people are, you know, saying about them. You know, they have interest with what the president says and what he does, because then he is there for everybody. He is the president for everyone. And then he's someone that we entrusted with our, you know, national coffers and everything. So then whatever he does concerns them. But aside from that, whatever any other president does or says, it's none of their business. Duñ len faale. That is his exact word. That duñ len faale. So that goes to show that they now prioritize what to respond and what not to respond. And I was very happy that to some extent I saw that a lot of other political party leaders were there in attendance. PDOIS, the leader, Sobeya also was there, and other, you know, party leaders. So I was so happy. I was like, okay, we are getting there. I know it's going to be difficult, but we're getting there. If we can have that tolerance to attend the Congress of another party, that tells a lot as who we are and how far we are moving.
Isn't there an
as a
Apex
country.
coalition?
There are
Including
talks,
all
but
of them.
Sort of,
it's
So
not,
there is, in name at least, this thing called
Yes.
Apex Coalition.
Yeah.
So on the basis of that, I can understand why the heads of all the parties are joining them, members of the coalition. So one can understand that. And we call this party a political party, this movement, the Unite. Is it a political party? Have they registered? Haven't they run against the wall, kind of,
they
in the
did,
registration
but their
application?
registration is yet
Not
to
quite
be,
yet
yes,
to be
yes,
accepted.
yes.
That's another factor.
Yeah.
For me, the third factor, I do not know how to gauge, as it were, the weight of the Unite movement. There's a lot of noise around it, but what is the substance? What's going on? To me, it's a bit early for me to start sort of making assessments. I cannot make proper assessments. Have to hear them really, what's really the ambition.
Yeah.
You're not formed as a party yet. Once you form as a party, and then who's going to lead? There's this apex aspect, who's going to lead it. And then afterwards, we get to the programs themselves. So I'm waiting for certain milestones, as it were, before I can pass judgment on this. I do not know yet. I cannot separate the noise from the substance. I cannot so far.
There is a lot of noise going around, honestly.
So
There is a lot of
wait.
noise. And for me,
I will
I
suspend
believe...
judgment.
Exactly. And I believe this is a time where we should have constructive engagements and dialogues and conversations to actually come to, a solution as to what is really happening, because this should be battle of ideas rather than individuality. But unfortunately, it's election year, and all you see is and hear is, okay, ki defa defli, ki defa ngani, ki defa ki li defli, and all of that. I don't see that ideology. I don't see the ideas coming. And this is a time where we should focus on ideas. Really.
Absolutely. But how many times have we said this? these things, they do not emerge overnight. I'm sure in the long run, some ideology will come in. So now the trick is for us, the voters. How do you listen when these people are talking?
Yeah.
How do you listen? How do you separate, sift, as it were, the chaff from the nut itself? So that is our task. But just keep on banging on that, oh, they should be talking about issues, they should be talking about ideology. Don't worry about it. It's never going to happen. You will have some who might, really, but across the board, it's not going to happen. So we must sharpen the way we hear, the way we analyze.
For me, I am just glad and, happy about the new political wave that is really taking over. That is, people are becoming more aware politically. People are now understanding what their rights are. People are understanding, okay, we have to vote based on competence and credibility. It's not about, who can gather more crowd and who can party more or tribal politics. So we are getting away. I can say now we are around 50-50, getting away from doing away with tribal politics and all those things. We understand the future of every country. You have to make sure you elect a credible leader. So that wave of politics, it's becoming very interesting.
That is the rhetoric I've been hearing. But when I look at social media, or sometimes I hear how people understand politics, the way they discuss it, I also question the level of sophistication.
But that is one
I am
community.
not sure about that.
Social media is
social
one
media
community.
is dangerous. No, social media is every community. It's
Yes.
just it's got different
I
voices.
know, but
Voices, yeah.
But there are people that they are not on social media. You'll be surprised to know.
But let's be honest, the majority of people, most of the discussions, people get their news now from social
Younger
media,
people.
no longer from traditional news outlets.
Yes.
They are losing their ground, actually, to social media. So we better focus on what happens on social media, because it is so important. That's where people discuss things and the like. So this is what I mean. When you read stuff like that, what they're saying, how they're analyzing politics, I'm not so sure whether the sophistication level is high enough. Just simply talking about it, I'm not sure whether that in itself, I don't know, adds anything to the debate. But talking about it meaningfully, realistically, not sitting there having high, unrealistic expectations. It's not going to happen. You're just going to set yourself up for a disappointment. So, but meaningful, mature talk about it, really, that's what we need. I am not sure whether that has gone up. You Gen Z people.
Mature conversation. So let's move on. Barrow launches 1,500-kilometer road drive to power Gambia's middle income push. The Gambia is now connecting and is connected to different towns, communities, villages. It's really obvious. Everybody is seeing what he's doing. Yesterday I had a conversation. I was at a mechanic garage, just opposite our shop. I was with them. And, one thing that they're talking about is how the roads are connected. They are talking about all those things, during our sittings, garages and grand places. You talk about it and they'll tell you, oh, the roads are good. It's connecting these roads. So you can see it's really creating an impact in the minds of the people.
Obviously, because they're tangible. You can see them. Nobody has to tell you about them.
Yeah.
You can see them, and you can compare their state right now and how they were in the past. You can clearly, self-evidently see the improvement now. And nobody can take that away from him. I mean, it is during his watch, under his watch, that we are building all these roads. A lot of things are changing. So people will say things like that. But we all know that the story doesn't end there. Isn't
It's far from ending.
Absolutely. As he said it, no infrastructure, no development. He's absolutely correct. Infrastructure is a necessity to development. It is just that it is not sufficient. You see, necessity is one thing, sufficiency quite another, because if you fail in other areas, then sooner or later, as they say,
Perfect.
a highway without opportunity.
Opportunities.
You see the economic activities and all of that. A highway without opportunities is just a road.
It's
So it
just a
dep-
road.
It's just a road. So it just depends on how you deal with all the things as well. We all know that.
Yeah, so let's move on. We have the Standard newspaper. Tambedu demands apology from the Republic. From our understanding, Republic, it's a media outlet.
Yeah, that's the Mustafa K. Dabo one.
Yeah.
Remember, it
Yeah.
was from his publication
So-
that we had this.
Vijane, yes.
We had the-
Jammeh's assets. yeah.
That's it, exactly. The select committee.
Yeah, so it will be
Investigation.
important to understand what is the basis of, that he is asking for apology from
Apology.
the media house. That would have been very important.
To apologize
Actually-
for what?
For the publication that he
was defamed,
That is
more
his-
or less.
that is what he claimed.
That sort of thing.
yeah.
That's an interesting one because when we, I wonder, would one also ask an apology of the select committee? Because it seems to me the National Assembly Select Committee that conducted the inquiry, they more or less were quite scathing of him. I do not know. We'll see how the Republic responds, and then we take it from there. I don't know if I felt that I was maligned in such a way, I just wouldn't demand apology. I'll sue you
1 year
because
after.
it's deep.
1 year later.
It cuts very deep.
Deep, yeah.
Because what they've said, what they've alleged, nobody has established any facts yet. What has been alleged, to my mind, that is really very, very damaging. To me, I think I will demand much more than an apology if I were maligned in such a way. I do not know. But we'll see whether the Republic will apologize.
Yeah. So let's talk about still on the papers. We've seen on the paper still Brikama Area Council dissolves Sanyang VDC over alleged mismanagement of $90 million. So it will be significant for us to understand what is the basis and what investigations have been carried out.
Oh, come on.
To get to this.
The local government commission just submitted its report. But this falls in. It is of the same piece with this story, isn't it? It's just the same old story. You ignore procurement procedure, not sound financial management. I mean, you just do as you please. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. You work in a public institution, but you don't care much about accountability. Just do as you please. You know, there are certain rules, regulations that you must follow, but you don't. Why is it so? And it is just so pervasive. You know, if it were sort of isolated cases, one would understand, I suppose, but it's just so all-pervasive. It makes it systemic. So now it becomes more than who stole what. It's deeper than that. It's about the whole structure of local governments broken.
That's just it.
See, these are the questions now. So, yes, of course, they will maybe prosecute this, prosecute that, you know, to mean individuals. But it appears as if the problem has gone beyond the individual. This is a structural issue. If you do not deal with the structural issue, bring any other individual, they will behave similarly. Since independence, do you know how many people have come and gone running our public institutions? Why is it that we've all been complaining about the same thing? It's a structural issue.
So
Change
you mean
the people you
different
you like.
individuals,
So
but
you-
How
the
many
same
people have come and
outcome.
gone? Just imagine it. How many people have come and gone? Be it presidents, the minister, whatever, people who run things. We've been complaining about the same thing even though people come and go.
Then it's a rotten
It's a
system.
structural issue.
Then
we don't know how to deal with
It's
the
a rotten
structural
structure.
issue.
So now, what should we do?
How do we go about
how do we go about it? Because you said it's a structural problem, and you know we've gone very far with this problem.
I know. I don't think we've had a single brave leader. Was it Thomas Sankara who once said, see, when you're trying to deal with our systems, you have to have a little bit of madness in you. Believe it or not, Sankara spoke like that. How do you dismantle that parallel state? I will probably take so many people to prison.
But you have to be careful. Once you're trying to restructure, people will label you as a dictator.
Oh, absolutely.
But Jammeh started something similar.
No. He had no vision. He retired the most experienced permanent secretaries by October or November. You don't do that. The Gambia doesn't have it. Eight of them, very, very early on. Never. You don't have the human resources. Afterwards, he said, I've got the whole Gambia to select from. That's when we knew that this guy had no idea what he was talking about. For one to be given a certain position, the kind of education you needed, the kind of experience you needed, you know that I have a small pool. Never a whole country is not true. Then I'm not bringing competence and experience to that position. So always, we are very small. The
then
people,
is it right to say that then it started from there, the broken system?
Yeah, he had no vision. He had no deep understanding of our problems, a deep historical understanding of our problems. He was not Thomas Sankara.
Yeah, but that
let's be careful. He was not Thomas Sankara at all.
Every leader coming in, you may think, okay, the people that were there, they were the rotten system. So for Jammeh coming in 1994, he was also fighting what he said was a rotten and corrupt system.
Let me tell you something else, yeah? Around that period, to assuage people's fears, as it were, they said, calm down, we have enough commodities, and we have enough reserves, we have enough this, just to calm our nerves. Jawara would ask in his book, if we were rampantly corrupt, how did we get the enough reserves? How did we get the enough commodities and all of that? And he just left it at that. It's for us to think about. So they were contradicting themselves within. How come everything was fine, calm down, if these people were rotten to the core, rampantly corrupt? People can make up their minds.
You mean there was a bigger mistake in trying to solve a forced mistake?
Boy. There was a fashion of coups. These people had gone to Liberia, experienced whatever. Nobody's going to say that we didn't have problems. Of course, we had problems, but allow civil society to solve it. Every other society, that's how we were formed. Within civil society, the debates, even sometimes you fight, but security authorities come and try to maintain law and order, and then they return. Civil society will mature. You see, you mature within democracy by doing it. It's always going to have your problems. Go and ask in the West how many different milestones. Today we are saying, look at the democracy there, look at this, look at that. Do you know how much it took for them to reach?
Let's move on. We have few minutes to leave the studio, Mr. Mamadou Mbodj. Omar Badji's family still waiting for justice. The Mandinari incident. I think it's, is it now a year or less than a year?
When did we get the coroner's report?
Not long ago.
Not long ago. Let's be careful with that
no,
as
I'm
well.
talking about the incident.
Yeah, the incident, but the important, after that, the important milestone is the coroner's report, isn't it? To tell us really what happened.
The coroner's report said he died as a result of blunt force trauma.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. No. And which resulted to the police.
Oh, absolutely. So now we are waiting to see what's going to happen afterwards. What would be the response, as it were? And the very, for me, what I don't like, the very fact that with their first statement when he died, he was running and he collapsed. Why do you need to lie? You're undermining further trust. You want to establish trust with the people, and yet when we look at this blatant, according to the coroner's report, it was a blatant lie, really.
It's muffling the truth.
Then you undermine trust further.
So what is this telling us about our security forces? I mean, do we still have to build that confidence between us and our security forces, if they can go to an extent of muffling the truth, I mean, for the public not to know.
Oh, come on. We've been at it for a very, very long time. It's just that under Barrow now we are trying to move away from that. It's just that the relics, the relics of the old, they're still very much alive, active within the transitory. We're trying to transition from that to the new one. So, but you're bound to have these things. This is why we talked about institutional reform. We know how damaged the institutions were. Otherwise, there'll be no need to say institutional reform. We know how you want to reform the institutions. All rotten, because under that system, you know, they were just there for just one person. That's going to be difficult. So we are still suffering the same things, really. For how long? I do not know.
All right, so we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll be talking to Ajib Bank. I mean, Mr. Sehu M. Juara, head of Sharia, Ajib Bank, and of course, Moro Sawane, head of retail banking, Ajib Bank Limited. So on that note, we'll be back. We are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa. This is QTV and we are on QCell Avenue, Serekunda. Now let's move on to the other segment of this program. We have Ajib Bank, your investment partner. We'll talk about Ajib services and of course some of the things that Ajib offer. We have Mr. Sehu M. Juara, head of Sharia and at Ajib Bank Limited, and of course Moro Sawane, head of retail banking, Ajib Bank Limited. Gentlemen, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
My uncle and my brother Moro.
Yeah.
It's good to have you people.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So first, Mr. Juara, let's head straight to you know, Ajib Bank. I mean, why the establishment of a bank like Ajib? Because when you look at the services that Ajib provide, it's kind of different from the conventional banking system.
Thank you very much, QTV. Thank you very much, viewers. Alhamdulillah, first of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who enabled us to come here today and we talk about Ajib Bank. Alhamdulillah, Ajib is an Islamic bank which is little bit different from conventional bank because not necessarily, you know, they don't have similarities. Islamic banks and conventional bank, they have similarities, but at the same time they have differences.
Yes.
So really the establishment of Ajib Bank came as a result of the founding fathers of Ajib, and then who was one of the first managing director, Mahmoud Jan, who came with this idea. I believe he was working at IDB before, and then he came with the idea of establishing an Islamic bank in the Gambia. It was very difficult at the time, but with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was able to get a license from the government of the Gambia, and then Ajib Bank was established. Since the operation started in 1997, of course, which I was part of those pioneers. Yeah, so he came with the idea that if you look at the population of Gambia, almost 95% of Muslims, and at that time there are a lot of people who have a lot of money, wealth, but they were not investing their wealth in conventional bank because they don't believe, the consumption of riba, which has been prohibited clearly in the Quran. So as a result, that caters for those who are not banking previously. So basically, those are some of the ideas. And alhamdulillah, when it started, really, we were able to register a lot of customers, you know, from the Gambians and non-Gambians. Yeah.
So in that case, how does Ajib ensures that its products and services are, you know, Sharia compliant, or they follow the principles of Sharia?
Yes, you know, an Islamic bank, before an Islamic bank is to be established, first thing you have to establish, that is, you have to have a Sharia board, because those are the, you know, regulatory bodies. If it is, you know, approved by central bank, and then all those structures has to be there before you start operations. And one of the key, you know, structure of an Islamic bank is to have a Sharia board. And then Sharia board was established. And then, you know, based on the advice of the Sharia board, you know, banks started operating. So basically, you know, those are some of the things. So Sharia is the bedrock of an Islamic bank. Without Sharia, you cannot call that bank a Sharia compliant banking, because we are dictated by Sharia, and Sharia is entirely Islamic religion. Understand? So Sharia board is very key. You know, even without in a Sharia department, you know, Sharia board can assist the operation of the bank,
Yeah.
you know, for the meantime until they have.
So let's engage
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yes, we would like to know the core services of Ajib Bank, some of the services.
Thank you, Ibrahima. Like it was alluded by yourself and Mr. Juara, Islamic banking, normally we have a similar products and services with the conventional banks, but our modus operandi clearly differs. For example, you can have a savings account with Ajib. You can have a savings account with a conventional bank. But some of the key differences is in Ajib Bank savings account, profit is normally set on ratio basis. You know, in Islamic finance, customers' deposits are normally taken on partnership basis. So once these monies are invested, the customers are entitled to investment returns, and this is set on ratios. The customer is entitled to 60%, and the bank is taking 40%. So if you compare us with the conventional bank, you realize that having a savings account with Ajib Bank, you tend to gain more investment returns than the conventional banks. And aside the returns, Ajib Bank's savings account has no cost. We understand with other conventional banks, you have a savings account with them, of course they charge you.
Yeah.
But with Ajib Bank's savings account, what you expect is an investment returns, which is very, very lucrative. So aside the investment returns, you are not also charged. That makes us fundamentally different from the conventional banks. And the current accounts, I know our other teams will come here to talk about our corporate services. For me, I will more or less focus on retail services.
Retail services.
Salary accounts. Like I tell people, what I know about Ajib Bank, if Gambian civil servants, public and private, nobody will go to any other bank except Ajib Bank. Because look, we have the cheapest services.
And what are those services?
For example, you have a current account with us. I'm sure you are afraid with ledger fees with other banks.
Yes.
You are afraid with COTs with other banks. We don't have any of this. You have a current account with Ajib Bank, a salary account. What you pay is just $57.50 for the entire month. And this comes with a lot of benefits. You know, aside the cost effectiveness of the services, but also you can have facilities that are, given on pro bono basis. I know Mr. Juara likely come into that. You know, you have a current account, you can have tailor-made services such as our facilities, our Murabaha facilities, our popular handshakes. And of recent, we even...
What is the popular handshake, for those that don't know?
Exactly. And in fact, of recent, we more or less modernize it. Handshake is, in Arabic, you call it Kad Hassan. In English, you call it a benevolent loan. Because the idea is, Islamic finance is not just a bottom line business venture. You know, it's all about how do you redistribute wealth from the haves to the haves not, such that everybody lives in prosperity. That's the idea about Islamic finance. Profit is important, but it's not wholly, solely the objective of our establishment. This is why products like handshakes come in. Here comes, if you have a salary account with Ajib Bank, you can take 40% of your salary as a short-term loan. For example, if it is 10,000, 40% of 10,000 is 4,000. This 4,000, you can take it for 3 months. 4,000 times 3, that is 12,000. But what is the rationale behind this? Let's compare it with the conventional banks. For example, if you are taking, let's say, a handshake of 30,000, because that's the maximum that you can have, the interest element alone will be more than $1,000. But here comes Ajib Bank, come and take free loan or free facility, and the fees attached is just $100. Why are we doing this? Because we understand that people are of different categories and people's needs also differ. So, and the most important aspect of it is you don't even need a guarantor. Yeah, you don't need a guarantor. Which bank will you go and get $30,000 loan without a guarantor? And a fee of just $100? It doesn't exist in this country. So these are some of the things that, it's important that we come here at least to sensitize people so that they know some of the services that we have that are unique to us, as an Islamic financial institution. Yeah.
Yes. So I am a bit confused. I mean, in Islam, some will tell you profit come, okay, I deposit and save my money in your bank. Then later, you put something on that money. According to Islam, allegedly, some people will tell you it's haram. And now if I have to save savings, and you people putting money on my account, what do you think about that? Or how do you people go about that, Uncle?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Balde. Islamic banking is different from conventional banks somehow, because in the early days of Islam, people were doing business. I give you money, when you are returning back to me, I have to charge something to it. And it was based on exploitation, deception, and injustice. And then, because at that time, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leader of, the ummah, and then that injustice was rampant in the society, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anything that is happening in the society or in a community that affect people, Allah will send a revelation. So people were in that situation until Allah revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس ذلك بأنه قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا أحل الله البيع وحرم الربا. So they say trade, riba and trade are the same, just like what you are asking now. You put your money in Ajib and we are giving back your money.
Okay.
Understand? And with interest, with profit, and you will term it as an interest, because you give me money and then I give you money back, your principal and something on top of that. Allah said trade and riba is different, because riba is I give you money, then it's with me. Later on, and then 2 months, 3 months, or 1 year, I gave you a return of maybe you invested 10,000, I gave you 11,000. That is riba. But in Islamic context, when all savings account holder they deposit with us, this money will not be idling. You have a pool, we call it, investment pool. You have 10,000, this person has 100,000, this one has 1 million. You will put in a pool. And then this pool money will be utilized in trading. That's why Allah says, Ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama riba. Trading is allowed, but riba is not allowed.
Okay.
So,
if I buy this mug for $10 and I sell the mug for $30.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that
That is
riba?
halal. That is halal.
It's halal.
That is
Yes,
profit.
it is halal because
It's
that
profit.
is why
So profit is halal.
Yeah, yes, that is where trading come,
Okay.
buying and selling.
Oh.
So
okay.
customers' money, bank will not leave it idle in there.
Yeah.
We will utilize it. We go and purchase
Okay.
items,
Now I understand.
assets,
Okay.
commodities, and we resell it. So when we sell it to other people who need it, and then we make profit and we share among the among the customers based on your proportion of contribution in that pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this even dictates the way we give our facilities. For example, our Murabaha facilities, you don't just come and we give you cars. Because like Juara was saying, in Islamic finance, there must be a commodity in the equation. Otherwise, the transaction cannot be halal.
Okay.
You know, this is why anytime you need a facility with Ajib, we ask you for an invoice. We are more or less doing invoice financing. So there must be a commodity that will be offered to you, not the money.
Okay.
So unlike the conventional banks, they are taking savings from a pool. And this savings is later given to other people in form of loans.
Oh.
You understand? They don't normally worry how you spend the money, unlike an Islamic financial institution. We want to know where you are spending our money.
You are spending.
Because we want our money to be invested in halal
in
investment.
a halal way.
Halal investment.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the reason for the invoice.
This is the reason for the invoice.
Okay.
It helps the customer because, of course, some customers might take loans and want to divert it, you know, for the original intention of the loan. But with the involvement of the bank, at least we can guide you so that you do a proper investment that will actually yield returns.
Okay.
So that also dictates how, of course, we offer our facilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So digital banking has becoming increasingly important. How is Ajib Bank adapting to this reality?
Yes, and in fact, the good news is we're trying to upgrade our mobile app. I'm telling you, in very short period of time, we'll have one of the best mobile app, top notch, that you cannot compare with any mobile app in the industry.
Okay.
And the beauty of our e-platforms is free. Compared to other banks, you subscribe to only any of their e-platforms. There is a charge attached.
Yeah.
In Ajib, our e-platforms are completely free. For example, our ATM cards, which is currently free, we are giving free ATM cards. You open an account.
It's still free?
Yeah, it's still free.
Wow.
We are giving you free ATM cards, giving customers free ATM cards if they open an account. Compared to conventional banks, they will ask you, okay, we get you free ATM cards, but at the end of every month, you will pay, let's say, 200, 300 as our e-platform charges.
Yeah.
In Ajib, what we do is, any withdrawal that you do attracts just $5. So how many of us will be going to the ATM machine to do more than 10 or 15 withdrawal that will get to that amount that you might be paying with the conventional banks? So classically, you will see that there is a big margin between our pricing and their pricing. And that is normally dictated by the principles of Islamic finance.
Yeah. So
In terms of supporting entrepreneurs, because now I know a lot of entrepreneurs are coming, and a lot of the time what they mention is the issue of finance has been a big challenge especially for startups. So how is the bank supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs through retail banking?
This is a challenge. Yeah, because banks are entrusted with customers' fund. So wherever you are giving this fund, you need to secure it. You know, as a bank, we definitely want to support the private sector, and we are really doing it. But one of the challenges that we have is most of these entrepreneurs outside the formal ecosystem. Sometimes they don't have the required documents to be able to be given bank loans, bank facilities. But of course, if you meet some of the criteria that we have as a bank, we support a lot of other businesses that have started very small with us, and now they are big players in the industry. But the advice that I can give to these small scale business holders is let them try to register their businesses and a bit formalize it. That makes it very easy to have bank facilities. Yeah.
So the retail bank services that Ajib is offering, what type of retail services do you have?
That of course include our savings account, our current accounts, and another important services that we offer, which is tailor-made for the security, the medical personnel. I'm sure my colleagues came here to elaborate on that. Is currently Ajib Bank is the only bank doing that. If you are a medical personnel, you are a security personnel, government security personnel, you can open an account with the bank. We'll give you free ATM card. We'll give you free checkbook for the first time.
Okay.
And also you visit any of our branches, you will not queue. Why are we doing this? Because let's say if you are a medical doctor, people are waiting for you at the hospitals. So we don't want you to come and spend time in our halls. That's why we are doing this. But not only that. For example, the securities, maybe you might not be aware. Most of these conventional banks, you cannot take a facility of 50,000 for more than 24 months. This is available in Ajib. Only for the security. Because we know salaries are never enough anywhere. But at least, why are we doing this? Because we don't want pressure on the salary. Such that take home can be a bit good. You take care of your family. With $50,000, you can take a facility with Ajib for 48 months. How much will the deduction will be? The deduction will be very small. So at least your take home can be better to take care of your family. And also aside that, we are doing what is called buyback. Buyback simply means, let's say you have a loan with another bank and you want to come to Ajib. The bank graciously take over this facility.
Oh, they do that also.
Yes, what we do is we pay the principal, because I know my landed Sharia man will not allow me to do that, to take over the interest. But we pay the principal, and guess what? You only pay 1,000. Imagine if you take a facility of 50,000 from a conventional bank, how much will be the interest? It's going to be more than 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. But Ajib Bank is telling you, if you have a facility with a conventional bank and you really want to come to Ajib, we'll pay this facility a maximum of 50,000 and charge you just 1,000. Then amortize the facility for you based on the duration that your salary can carry. Yes.
So the individual will move his account from that bank to Ajib Bank. But Ajib will pay the loan.
Yes.
And now Ajib will be the owner of the loan.
Yes, and the loan will be amortized for you.
And that is just $1,000.
Just $1,000
that the person is
that
going
you will
to
pay. Yes. So why are we doing this? Because we understand that some of our brothers are entangled, they are trapped in a vicious cycle of loan repayment with conventional banks and finding it difficult to escape the trap. This is why we come to help.
That is true.
Yeah.
So what accounts? Is it those the salary account holders or the saving account holders, or which category?
Normally, facilities are given on current accounts. So current accounts can be in two folds. One, the salary accounts, and also maybe if it is a business account, normally they are current accounts. So with those kind of accounts, you need a collateral, probably if you need a facility. But salary earners, you just need a personal guarantor. But with our handshake, I'm sure Mr. Balde understands that you don't need a guarantor.
I enjoyed the handshake.
Yeah, so
I'm surprised that you didn't know the handshake. Oh man, I've enjoyed it several times.
Wow, mashallah.
So let's talk about the ATM machines as well. We want more access, and we want to be depositing now our cash through the ATM machine instead of going into the bank. Why not we bring that service?
Anyway, I know this question would have been ideal for the digital service people, because perhaps they know what is in the pipeline in terms of a digital revolution. But I know plans are on the way, because if you look at the society now, people are going through a cashless society. People don't want to have monies in their wallets. They want their cards. They want mobile applications. So I'm sure that's the direction. Yeah.
So, Mr. Juare, in terms of innovation and new Sharia compliant products, what services are we to expect from Ajib Bank?
Yes, how to call it? The Sharia principles, they are not stagnant. It depends on the situation. Islamic banking is all about structuring. It's all about structuring. Contracts are based on structuring. So whatever events come at any time, you look at it and structure it to suit the situation. So all these innovations, ATMs, and all those new innovations, really they are backed by Sharia principle because it has an asset backing, service backing, because Islamic banking is based on two things: Sharia based backing, and then service based backing. So if it is innovation, it will be backed by service, approval, If it is an asset like buying and selling, that one also will be backed by the same Sharia principles.
Yes. So we will also like to know about the Visa cards, Julia.
I think this I'll still refer this to the e-platform people, but that's the way forward. I know there are plans on the way, because a lot of our customers ask for Visa card, so this is something that they are really thinking of, and I'm sure it will be provided.
So Ajib Bank being the only Islamic bank in the Gambia, what are some of the challenges that you encounter? We have a lot of conventional banks in the country, and sometimes people are confused as to, okay, the service is here, even though it is an Islamic bank, they will expect the services to be the same from a conventional bank. But of course, that is not possible because it is an Islamic bank. So what are some of the issues that you encounter on a daily basis, being the only Islamic bank in the country?
I think one of them is the issue of mis-selling. Mis-selling in the sense that people thought Ajib Bank is just like any other conventional bank. When classically our operational modus operandi are clearly different. For example, today if I initiate any project or any product, it has to go through Sharia.
Okay.
They have to vet it to see the Sharia compliance aspect of it. Okay, but perhaps somebody out there is trying to misinform people that yes, Ajib banks, they are just like any conventional bank. The way they do their thing is just like any conventional bank. So that misinformation is one of the challenges that actually affects us. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you.
I think that what he has said is the most important thing, a knowledge gap. Knowledge gap is a big challenge because that is a major issue that people don't understand about Islamic banking.
Islamic banking. Yeah, so these platforms are very significant. Ajib Bank should be coming here at least once a week. I mean, I think we are working with something with Ibrahim Ajo, at least to create an Ajib hour where we'll be discussing some of the things that you do.
Yeah, because it's very important.
Yes, but Ajib Bank team, I was so disappointed. How can you allow the government of the Gambia to deal with you?
But remember, some of their players are ours.
No, but Moro, I mean, I supported you people.
I know you can also beat government. We
can always beat the government.
We don't want to defeat them in that match. We just let them to win.
The government know where to deal with you. So it's wise you allow them to beat you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the program. We'll take a short break. Aliou Ceesay is with the president, and we'll be talking to him on the we'll
update us about the president, CRR, and
URR.
code.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after the break. The President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, is on a tour to CRR and URR for the laying of a foundation stone for certain road projects. And our reporter Aliou Ceesay is with the President. Ali will give us an update of that visit on this program. Good morning, Mr. Ceesay.
Good morning, Balde and Jude. Greetings from Basse. Very sunny good morning here. Yes, like you said, we are here in the Upper River region on a 5-day tour with the President to lay additional foundation stones, for the construction of additional roads in the Upper River region and Central River region.
So it will be very significant, Aliou, for you to tell us the major towns visited by the President.
Like you said, yesterday we completed the laying of the foundation stones for 131 kilometers of roads in the Upper River region, which is, phase one.
that shouldn't happen right there. I was just say shouldn't freeze in the middle of the program. Julie, so okay, your man is gone. So now,
Yeah.
Ali is trying to give us updates
Yeah.
as to the president's, the URR CRR tour.
Yeah.
We know the president is currently on this for the laying of foundation stones,
Yeah.
for access to the other communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ali Cisse is with the president. I know any moment from now he will give us updates.
Absolutely. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, roads are very important in the developmental aspiration of any country, because now, in Basse, when going there, before we used to struggle a lot to go there. It takes the whole day to reach there, but now you can move from here in the morning and then go to Basse and then have your lunch there. That is only possible because of when the roads are good. So road construction is very good, but like we always say, it's one thing to build roads, but it's in order to ensure that the roads are of quality. We always emphasize that, and it's a laudable initiative. We commend the president for these initiatives, because now you can see that even those in these remote villages now can connect to the town, and especially women. They can now be able to take their goods to the lumos without any hustle. But before, it used to be very difficult, especially during the rainy season. Sometimes you have women find it very difficult to access health facilities. They find it very difficult to go to their farms. They find it very difficult to go to these lumos, because when you go to these lumos, the most people that you see there are women. So, even to sell their goods during the rainy season was a challenge. But now we've seen that that has become a thing of the past. Now there is that connectivity, especially with feeder roads. Even here in the urban area, you see now that there is that connectivity from the feeder roads coming to the main highway. It's not now a challenge. It is something very, very easy, and people can go about their business. So yeah, like he mentioned, no development, no infrastructure, no development.
So Ali
it
is
starts
back.
somewhere.
Ali Cisse is back on the line again. Ali Cisse, before that interruption there, we were talking about the major towns that the president and his entourage visit at. Before we had that interruption, Ali.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, like I mentioned, yesterday, we completed the laying of the foundation stone for over 120 kilometers of route across the Gimara, Basse, Kantora, Tumana, Wuli, and Sandu here in the Upper River region, which is, of course, part of, phase one of this, initiative taken by the government to construct an additional 1,500 kilometers of route across the country. As you know, road infrastructure down there is very important for the socio-economic development of any country. And then the good thing about this initiative taken by the government is that it is fully funded by the government of the Gambia. At what the president told me, maybe around $20 billion. In the Upper River region alone, over 385 kilometers of roads is earmarked for the region, with already 131 kilometers of roads confirmed and the foundation laid. Officials of the National Roads Authority are still doing the assessment to confirm all the critical roads that need to be constructed. Today, we'll be heading to the Central River region, the president is going to lay additional foundation stones in Nyanga, Bantang, of course, Kuntawur, Jarene Koto, and Wasi before a joint meeting. CRR is also going to benefit from over 395 kilometers of routes in the Central River region. But of course, this is being done by phases, like I told you. The first phase of this project for the URR is 131 kilometers, and then CRR also will do the same. We know since the president came to power in 2017, the issue of road infrastructure has always been high on his agenda. And that's why sometimes I treat him as I call him Mr. Infrastructure, because he emphasizes so much about infrastructure. By but you and I know how, I mean, the road condition in the upper river region was back in 2011. I mean, it was quite terrible. I mean, and then during, I mean, the foundation laying, I mean, on Saturday and yesterday, the president, I mean, did actually lead, I mean, several foundation stone. I mean, he laid, one of them is the 11.2 kilometer Mankaman Kunda, Gilangel, of course, going to Sare Musa, Sare Wallam, I mean, Banna Tenda, and of course, in Jimara. He also laid the foundation stone for another road, which is 23.2 kilometers from Jiroba, I mean, going to Sabu Sire, that's your end band, Sabu Sire, to
Yes.
Dasir, going to Daslan, Alanhare, Abdu, Baniko Tekuro, I mean, Kumbija, Sambasako, Karakama, that's Balas side. So obviously, that road also will be constructed. I mean, the president also, I mean, laid the foundation stone for another road, I mean, which, I mean, from Sidwell, I mean, the road, I mean, linked from Sidwell, I mean, going to, I mean, Misraba Mariama to Namanari, that's in the Santora. And also another route, I mean, 26.9 kilometers, that's from Tintinjo, going to Sanimbeng, Bingiring, Madina, Samako, Diabuguba, Silla, that's in the Tumana. Well, yesterday we were in Woolley, and we also laid a fountain stone for a 3.3 kilometers from Yerobawal, I mean, going to Jagular, that's in Woolley West. And also another route, I mean, 21 kilometers from Naude, going to Sare Gubu Basiri, I mean, Tangali Lankabi, I mean, Bande, you must be very excited here in these names. I mean, we've gone to all these places, I mean, whilst I was here as a reporter in 2011. And also, there's another critical road also, Bande, which is a 33 kilometer road from Welingara Yare, going to Makamasiri, going to Musa Kunda, Dabu Kunda, Sare Kolikunda, Pole Kunda in the Willi. So these are the roads that the president has actually laid the foundation stone, I mean, on Saturday and Sunday, and then work is expected to start very soon. And like the president said in his address during the joint meeting held in Tintinjo and Pole Kunda, he emphasized that, I mean, infrastructure development shouldn't be a privilege for few, but it should be a right for everyone as far as development of the country is concerned. So that's what's been happening here. I mean, the president is very optimistic about, I mean, the ongoing road infrastructure projects across the country. Most of them,
yes.
Yes, Banda.
When you mentioned, you know, the various routes that the president promised to construct, I got a lot of goosebumps all over my body, because I know the conditions of the roads of Medina Samako, you know, and I know the roads Sabu Sire to Baniko Ismaila, Baniko Kekoro. So in fact, few years back, you will think this is going to be impossible. This thing will never happen. And now here, President Adama Barrow and his government are working on to paving roads to those communities. Really, this is really a laudable initiative, Aliu.
Yeah, I mean, Banda, we need to understand, like I always tell people, yes, I mean, no government is perfect, no system is perfect. There must be challenges here and there. But in terms of road infrastructure, we really have to give it credit as far as, I mean, the progress that we have seen as far as roads is concerned. I mean, you know, I always take an example from the Upper River region. Traveling from Basse to Fatiko, Baden in 2011 will have taken you 2 hours to get to Fatiko because of how the road was. Traveling from Basse, crossing over to Wuli, to go to Baja Kunda will have taken you hours to get to Baja Kunda, and of course, you know, Banting and other communities in Wuli. But here, Banda, I mean, within 30 minutes, 1 hour, and in Baja Kunda. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you know how the road condition in this area was. And not just the Upper River, not just the URR, but in other parts of the country. I mean, you go to the Kadaba region, I mean, you see what's happening there. But in terms of, like I said, in terms of road infrastructure, giving credit, the government has really done so much as far as, I mean, road infrastructure is concerned. I mean, those roads, like I said, I mean, that's a different project. That is 355 kilometers of roads across the nationwide that the government has undertaken. And most of the projects are almost completed. And then this additional 1,500 kilometers of roads, I mean, this is a new project. I mean, it's forced under the Connect Gambia, I mean, initiative, which is part of efforts to make sure that good roads to connect communities. Yes, when we say, I mean, roads are really important, but politically people can say so, but in reality, we know the importance of good road network, I mean, in terms of easing the movement of people and goods. And it also facilitates trade. I mean, if there are no good roads, imagine, Bale, how, you know, a trader who gets goods from Basse to Sokoto, or who gets goods from Basse to Bolibana to Bajakula and other areas, it's like taking them days to get their goods there. But today, in less than 1 hour, 2 hours, you can be able to transfer your goods from Basse here to any part of the region, which is very, very significant.
Absolutely.
And this is something that even at all the meetings that we attended, I mean, in Kinkinjo, in Woolley, people came out, I mean, to express appreciation. You see, I mean, coming out to say someone, thank you for what you have done, I mean, it's a bad. I mean, one will say yes, I mean, the government is elected, the
Thank you,
to
Aliu.
do this. But the secondly, I mean,
Thank
there
you.
were governments
So,
before him.
finally, Aliu.
They need to do this. But obviously, a lot has been achieved. Yes, there are still challenges in other areas as governance and, of course, when we say corruption.
Director said the time is up.
Oh, it's up.
Yes.
I wanted to
we've
ask
gone to-
whether
Yeah.
he knows the timeline for when this will